Let's go!
What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the debut episode of the Live Dive, the Angles Live Dive on Monday Night Raw on YouTube, streaming here for the first time doing this show. It's a show I originally started doing on my Instagram page at The Angle Radio. If you want to follow there, I will follow back everybody who follows there. But it's a show that I started originally on Instagram, going live there, and I just wasn't happy with it. So I figured, you know what, I'm going to bring it to YouTube, do it bigger and badder, and the way that it should be done, especially being the Angle Podcast. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the debut episode of the Live Dive. I am your host, Joey Karni, and tonight we're going to be going over everything we just saw on Monday Night Raw. Now, as you can see behind me, kind of really, the highlight of everything we just saw. But tonight really started out in sort of a... I tweeted it out during the show, but I think it was a little too quick and a little too much at one time. We saw Drew McIntyre come out, barely spoke about Goldberg. It was a few seconds. Out came Edge to interrupt him. We all thought that Edge was going to announce that he was going after Drew McIntyre for the WWE title at WrestleMania. We didn't get that. Instead, we got sort of the Edge that we've been waiting to see for a while. I think the ultimate opportunist Edge, really calling Drew McIntyre out, saying, I come out here and instead of kicking me in the face, you give me compliments. Like, this is not what you should be doing. Like, I am after you for your WWE title. Really making it known that he should be taken seriously, opposed to how Drew McIntyre was going about maybe him picking him to contend against at WrestleMania. Within moments of that, out comes Sheamus, gets himself involved. Sheamus on Friday was like the biggest face of the main event of SmackDown, got the win for his team, and now he's a heel again. So flip-flopping Sheamus, flippy-floppy Sheamus is what I call him nowadays, because you don't know if he's a face, you don't know if he's heel. Not a good or bad thing, just it'd be nice to know if he can be trusted at all. But I guess all in due time. And I guess from what we saw tonight, that is obviously not the case, because as Sheamus stated after the big bro kick he hit on Drew McIntyre after Edge left the ring, which was kind of, we knew this turn was coming, but I didn't know it was going to be like that, and I figured it would be bigger maybe in a main event, not the opening segment where like we knew it was happening, because Drew McIntyre's back was turned and Sheamus was in the corner, and you saw him like preparing for the brogue, and like it was just, I don't know, it just happened in a very, very weird way. But if you don't know, now you know. If you didn't watch Monday Night Raw tonight, bro kick to Drew McIntyre from Sheamus. Sheamus claims they're no longer friends. He wants the WWE title. 20 plus years of friendship down the drain for the WWE title. That's probably going to happen at Fastlane. A lot of people were predicting that was going to be the match for WrestleMania for the WWE title. As of right now, I don't think that's the case. I think we're going to see it at Fastlane. And something really significant about that segment, that I thought at least, was the fact that Drew McIntyre told Edge, are you going to make the decision about WrestleMania, or am I going to have to make it for you? So I really do think that's starting to plant the seeds to a match at WrestleMania between those two. Because let's be honest, we would all love to see Drew McIntyre versus Edge for the WWE title. We would all love to see Roman Reigns versus Edge for the Universal title. Both would be fantastic matches, but let's be honest here, Edge is not beating Roman Reigns, but Edge does have a chance against Drew McIntyre. So I think the best thing to do here is put Edge against Drew McIntyre for the WWE title at WrestleMania, hence why I think the seeds were planted tonight. Another title match that really has been, I don't know, pushing my buttons lately, and that's the United States Championship. We see this title pretty often nowadays. We see it being, defended on Monday Night Raw, like from Bobby Lashley, but it always ends up being a no contest or a DQ or just some ridiculous finish, and that's exactly what we saw tonight. I don't know why I didn't put it past WWE to do this again, when I really did think that Riddle was going to get a fair shot and actually walk out the United States champion. I mean, he did go through each member of her business last week on Monday Night Raw, running the gauntlet in such little time, might I add, doing a really great job in that match. And then also last night at the Royal Rumble, really like I tweeted out earlier during Monday Night Raw, really putting on a great showing, really shining bright, really making it known that he is a star in WWE, having individual spots with Christian, individual spots with Daniel Bryan, Seth Rollins, someone who has said who doesn't want anything to do with him. I mean, Riddle was in the last 5 in the men's Royal Rumble last night, and then to see him tonight get his shot for the U.S. title, I think since because he had momentum, maybe this would be a good time to put the title on him. Obviously not. Instead of that, Bobby Lashley murdered him. Like, murked him. Just did not have a chance whatsoever. And then they played it off like Riddle didn't know what happened. Like, he got beat so bad. Like, he just couldn't remember. He lost his memory or something. I don't know what they're doing with Riddle. It doesn't really make sense to me, as sometimes they're pushing him, like we saw at the Royal Rumble and what we saw at Monday Night Raw last week. And then all of a sudden it's like he gets manhandled by Bobby Lashley like a rag doll, like a jobber, really. And it just doesn't make any sense. The match didn't even end fairly tonight. He put him in the hurt lock. Is that Bobby Lashley's new move? Let's be honest here. It's the master lock for all of those true wrestling fans. But I guess Bobby Lashley's calling it the hurt lock. But whatever. It is what it is. Yeah, so he put the hurt lock on Riddle outside of the ring. Referee counted to 5, disqualified him, and then just continued to do it. And we saw, I believe, the seeds also being planted for a breakup or something of the Hurt Business. MVP trying to stop Lashley from destroying Riddle, telling him that you're gonna go to jail, blah blah blah, all this stuff. And it was just you saw Lashley getting aggravated with MVP inserting his opinion. And then we see something along the lines with the tag team champions, who are also part of the Hurt Business and also having their same sort of drama. So we will see that, or we will talk about that in a little while. So yes, Bobby Lashley, I guess successfully defending his United States Championship tonight on Monday Night Raw with technically Riddle gets the win, but Lashley continues his run as the most dominant champion we have today in WWE. So that's crazy. So we did see, speaking of the Hurt Business, we did see the tag team titles on the line. Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander putting their titles on the line against the Lucha House Party. In actually a decent match on Monday Night Raw. It wasn't what I thought it would be, really. But of course, Lucha House Party really putting on great matches. An underrated tag team, just horrible booking, making them look like jobbers. And I know a few weeks ago when The Miz lost to, I think it was Grand Metalik, he made it seem like it was a huge upset, like they're not great wrestlers. Like, I don't even know what they're doing with the Lucha House Party. I thought they were doing something great with Kalisto on SmackDown, with Kalisto turning heel in some sort of way, but who knows what's going on with the Lucha House Party. They're being used right now in the tag team division on Raw, which is lacking if you haven't been paying attention. But that's fine. Great match. Lucha House Party getting defeated. Once again, we see turmoil, something kind of brewing in the Hurt Business. Cedric Alexander going to get the finish to get the win for his team. Shelton Benjamin once again tagging himself in, coming into the match, getting the win for his team. And MVP kind of cooling things down, making sure everybody's cool, calm, collected, because they're here to collect gold and collect wins and collect money and titles. So that's what they're doing. I guess we're going to have to wait and see if they're going to tease any more of a breakup of the Hurt Business. And I hope not, because they are probably my favorite faction on the main roster. That's not including NXT and the Undisputed Era. Baby. I'm just talking about Raw and SmackDown here. So we did see Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander, the Hurt Business, retain the Raw Tag Team titles against the Lucha House Party. The segment that we have to talk about, even though I don't want to, because honestly I don't remember what happened. I don't know what happened because I muted the TV and I actually walked away to do something else with my life, because anything would have been better than what I was watching on Monday Night Raw. And that was the segment with The Miz and John Morrison. Hey, no, thank you. We were done with this. Doing a segment of Miz TV with Bad Bunny, who uh, cross-bodied them off the top rope last night at the Royal Rumble, now coming out to do some sort of like whatever. Let's talk about this because a lot of people going back and forth with this. A lot of people did not like it, and a lot of people turned off the channel or turned channels or like me just muted it and walked away. But let's be real, Bad Bunny was, if not one of the biggest uh, artists of 2020. I mean, this guy has hit after hit after hit. He's very popular. So to have him on WWE programming is huge for WWE, business wise, if you're going to look at it that way. It brings in a huge audience of new people. If Bad Bunny's promoting Monday Night Raw and Royal Rumble and WWE as a whole on his social media platform, so that is a huge gain for WWE to have him in there. And let's be honest, The Miz and Morrison, there's no one better to put Bad Bunny in a segment with. So I mean, it does make sense. It just what they're doing recently or for a while now with Morrison and Miz is just it's annoying and it's they're grown ass men and like Miz is a father of two and they're not where they used to be. So I don't understand. I want to see a more aggressive side. I want to see them actually compete in the tag team division. I want to see them do more than what they're doing. They're not just PR people. And I know the Miz has done that for a long time, but John Morrison is not. He's in the prime of his life. This guy was a champion everywhere he's been, and I think we need to see something happen here. I don't know if this is leading to maybe at WrestleMania, Miz and Morrison versus Bad Bunny and Booker T, or maybe we're gonna get that at Fastlane. I don't know. Usually we see some sort of celebrity input at WrestleMania, so this could be it. Who knows? But when Bad Bunny said on Raw tonight that he didn't come alone or something, he brought somebody, one of his friends, or he had a friend there, I thought it was going to be Booker T to come out, and it was not. It was the debuting NXT superstar, I should say new Raw superstar, Damian Priest, former NXT North American champion, is on Raw. It was reported for weeks that he was going to show up on SmackDown in some weird segment with Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens, but that is not the case. He is on Monday Night Raw. He made it very clear. He defeated The Miz in a great match. Damian Priest, I loved him as a heel in NXT. I loved him as a face in NXT, and I guess he's staying as a face on the main roster, so I'm excited to see where he goes going forward. I hope he doesn't just blend in like everybody else has on Monday Night Raw. I hope they have a lot. I know he is a Triple H guy, so we could see this could be the beginning of a huge push for Damian Priest. Yes, so if you're just tuning in right now, I'm your host, Joey Karni. This is a new show from the Angle podcast, and this is called The Live Dive. It's going to be a live weekly show after Monday Night Raw where I discuss everything that we're seeing in Monday Night Raw, pros, cons, all that stuff, expert analysis. I'm even going to have have on some guests, different podcasts, and maybe even different superstars. You've seen the interviews I've done before. I've had a lot of big names on the show. They're not just one and done interviews. I do stay in touch with them just so I can have them for certain things like this. So you may see Ryback come on and talk about Monday Night Raw one night. You may see TJ Wilson, aka Tyson Kidd, come on and talk about Monday Night Raw one night. You never know who's going to show up, so you got to tune in every week. I'm going to have different guests, like I said, different superstars, different podcasts that I've worked with in the past, and a lot of new podcasts that I've been talking to. I'm excited to work with. So if you are a podcast who would want to be involved in one of my shows, this is not just the only show I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing one on Wednesdays for AEW, their competition here. I'm going to be doing one for Friday Night SmackDown. That's called Get Smacked, where we're going to smack you with some knowledge and some expert analysis about everything we're seeing on Friday Night SmackDown. A lot of stuff from the Angle coming your way, a lot of great interviews. Tomorrow, Tuesday, February 2nd, 2021, the interview that I did with the Real World's champion, the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, Nick Aldis, will be available at 9 a.m. Look out for that. Put on the notifications if you haven't already. Click the bell. Subscribe down below if you haven't already. A lot of stuff happening from the Angle. So like I said, if you're a podcast, you want to get involved, hit me up on all social media. You can check me out at The Angle Radio all across the board, or even go to theangleradio.com and check out everything there and send me an email. whatever you want to do. But back to what we're talking about here. We are talking about everything that happened on Monday Night Raw tonight. This is the live dive with the Angle podcast, a new weekly show. We just talked about Damian Priest debuting on Monday Night Raw. And speaking of people coming to Monday Night Raw, we had the return of Carlito, formerly known as Carlito Caribbean Cool. Did not have an apple tonight. Looked like he was missing out on his entrance, but that's okay. It was announced that he would be in a match on Monday Night Raw. He was in a tag team match, teaming with Jeff Hardy to take on Elias and Jackson Riker, which is kind of like, honestly, at this point, it looks like a throwaway match. Like, I don't even know what that was, and it's a shame that I'm saying throwaway match with the name Jeff Hardy, but that's what it is. Jeff Hardy entered at the Royal Rumble number 5 and was the first one eliminated. Barely had anything to give in that match, and it was really, really disappointing. Not by him, but by WWE and the way they're booking him. So I don't know what's going on with Jeff Hardy. It is what it is at this point. Carlito coming back looking in the best shape of his entire life. This guy is coming in at 240 pounds, and I don't know it's 240 pounds because freaking what's his name? Tom Phillips, a.k.a. Mini Michael Cole, literally said it 5 times the entire match. Look at that 240-pounder. Oh, my God, the 240-pounder. Carlito is now 240 pounds, the best shape. We get it. He's in great shape. You don't have to tell us his weight. You don't have to. We know. We could see it. It's obvious. But thank you, Tom Phillips, for your input. As always, I guess the lead announcer of Monday Night Raw, a.k.a. Junior Michael Cole. Whatever. Carlito is back. And a lot of people said, or there was rumors that he was given or was having a tryout for a WWE producer role tonight, which could lead to a lot of different things because we saw last year at the Royal Rumble, MVP make his return after so many years, come in and have a match, was involved in the Royal Rumble. The night after, had a match against Rey Mysterio, which he completely screwed up, and that's fine. And then was offered, I guess, the producer role. He was a producer for a little while and then transitioned to on-screen talent. That's where we saw him get involved with Bobby Lashley and Lana and so. And now we have MVP, the biggest faction of Monday Night Raw. So anything is possible. I would love to see Carlito back full-time with the WWE, not in a producer role, but in the ring because he is in great shape and he is 240 pounds. 240 pounds for emphasis there. If you didn't know, he's 240 pounds. Carlito, yes, 240 pounds. Yeah, so I would love to see him back in the ring full time. And he's a great former United States champion, so that's what I can see really going for him, really boosting up the U.S. title scene on Raw, because on SmackDown, the IC title situation is looking really, really good, as we saw from the main event of Friday Night SmackDown this past week. Raw side of things not so great looking. We have Bobby Lashley, Riddle, and I feel like at this point Bobby Lashley has just dominated the entire mid-card division, so there's no one there at the moment that I think that Bobby Lashley hasn't got his hands on. And I think Carlito could be a great step forward in the right direction, put the U.S. title on him. For those of you who didn't know or who don't or not familiar with Carlito debuted in, I think it was 2004, if I'm not mistaken. It was 2004, and I remember watching it on TV. Don't let my age show. Carlito, the vignettes of like him at the beach with the apple, and I was like, who the hell is this freaking punk? Like, what is this? He's the Caribbean guy, and I was like, what is this? He debuts on Friday night. He debuts on SmackDown at the time, a taped version of SmackDown. That's how long ago it was, 2004. Taped version of SmackDown. Defeats John Cena in his debut match for the United States title. Goes on to hold John Cena's lock and chain. If you don't remember that, that was a huge thing. He used the chain, knocked Cena out, took the title. And from there, he just went on to have great U.S. title runs and Intercontinental title runs and Tag Team title runs. So Carlito is a very established and he's an established WWE superstar with a prestigious history, as his father was in the WWE or in pro wrestling. His family, Epico and Primo, the Colognes, former tag team champions. A lot of history with the Colognes. So Carlito is a great asset to WWE, and I'm glad to see him back after, I think, 10 plus years in the WWE. We saw Alexa Bliss versus Nikki Cross in the same type of match we've seen them have every time they've competed. And I have to say, I am disappointed with the way WWE has booked Nikki Cross. When she first was in NXT and she kind of made that transition to SmackDown and Raw a little bit, she was crazy. She was aggressive. She was fierce. She was fantastic. And I thought she was a great asset. No one like her on any roster. And they kind of divinized her. They made her a WWE diva. They put some makeup on her. They ungreased her hair. They changed her gear a little bit. Made her lose some weight. And changed her freaking theme song. And it sounds horrible. It doesn't match anything that I would think of Nikki Cross. She almost looks like they made her conform to a WWE superstar. And that's not the Nikki Cross that I was a fan of. And I think that's why it's not working. That's why we don't really see her, because they changed her character. So if they would allow her to go back to the way she was, the crazy Nikki Cross, let her have some fun, and I think she would be a great hit on any show. Even if they were to send her back to NXT, she would be a great hit anywhere. So yeah, we saw Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, Alexa Bliss getting the win over Nikki Cross. And in the main event of the night, we saw the match that was announced earlier, which I was actually shocked that they announced, and I was kind of surprised because this Randy Orton versus Edge, the greatest wrestling match ever from Backlash 2020, we were getting a rematch, the final rematch tonight on Monday Night Raw, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, this is gonna end. It's gonna have a screwy finish. It's not gonna end well. We're not gonna get a finish. The Fiend or Alexa, something's gonna happen. And as you can see from the background of my green screen right now, yes, I'm not at Monday Night Raw. For those of you who are wondering, that is a green screen. That is Alexa Bliss, but I'm not there. So for those of you who just don't have a very high IQ level, this is a green screen. Yes, so the main event of Monday Night Raw, Edge versus Randy Orton, the final chapter of their whatever is going on. So they can go into different directions. Edge going to the main event of WrestleMania. Randy Orton probably going into something with the Fiend Bray Wyatt. And as we saw in the main event, Alexa Bliss coming in with that creepy new, I love it by the way, the creepy new like Fiend Bray Wyatt, Alexa Bliss playground kind of child theme that they play. Like sound effects, really, really cool. Gets me every time. It creeps me the hell out. Alexa Bliss sitting on the top rope, like you can see, and she starts dripping this stuff from her mouth. I don't know if it was blood or like black. So I don't know what it was, but it was really creepy. And then it distracted Randy Orton, and Edge got the spear. 1, 2, 3. Edge wins the match. Their feud is finally over, and now they can move on to other things. Overall, it was a decent Monday Night Raw. Honestly, it felt like, in a way, and I know a lot of people are not going to like this, it felt like the night after WrestleMania in a sense, because we had the debut of Damian Priest, we had the return of Carlito, and it just felt like a really rejuvenated Monday Night Raw, but still with some of the same boring booking, like with the U.S. title and Drew and Sheamus and whatnot. Did have some really upbeat moments of the night. Naomi and Lana earning a shot at the women's tag team titles. Lacey Evans again getting involved in Charlotte Flair's business. Charlotte Flair flat out just leaving Asuka by herself. That's obviously going to go to some sort of feud, maybe for the women's title at Fastlane or at WrestleMania. Who knows? But Charlotte Flair just flat out left the match. And Asuka got pinned by Naomi. That happened tonight. Not knocking Naomi. It's hard to see Asuka today and like picture her where she was in NXT, and it just like puts a pit in my stomach because I know how good she is. I know how great she can be, and I feel like at this point she's just holding the Raw Women's Championship hostage because she hasn't done anything with it. She's defended the women's tag team titles more than she's defended the Raw Women's title, and that's like freaking sad at this point. And Asuka is probably the best on the entire roster across the board. So I hope to see something happen next. I hope Rhea Ripley, like I said on the Royal Rumble pre and post show that I did yesterday, Rhea Ripley gets involved and maybe she can challenge for the title at WrestleMania. But besides the point, Alexa Bliss costing Randy Orton the match against Edge. Final chapter is over. And that was Monday Night Raw. Decent episode. I'm excited to see what happens next week. Uh, and for those of you who are watching, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe down below and comment what your favorite part was of Monday Night Raw. Or even in the chat, I would like to know what you liked about Monday Night Raw. I think that would be cool just to see what exactly everybody liked. Um, yeah, that's it for the first episode of the Angles live dive into Monday Night Raw. You can check me back out on Wednesday after AEW Dynamite. I'm going to be doing a top 5 moments of Dynamite. It's going to be called This Week, the top 5 moments of AEW Dynamite. Then after that, you can check out Get Smacked, another new show I'll be debuting on Friday night after Friday Night SmackDown. Where you're gonna get smacked with some knowledge and some expert analysis of Friday Night SmackDown, and maybe I'll have a special guest there. Who knows? Gotta check in and check it out. Hit the bell and notification button, like and subscribe down below. A lot of great things to happen going forward. We're on the road to WrestleMania. Check out my interview with Nick Aldis, the Real World's Champion, the NWA World Heavyweight Champion. Tomorrow, that drops at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. He talks about a lot of things. Marry Mickey James, declining offers from both WWE and AEW, being approached by Billy Corgan and Dave Lagana about growing NWA and making him really the face of it, and how great the atmosphere backstage is. That he brings his son, and he drops some big breaking news regarding the return of NWA Power. That's all happening tomorrow, 9 a.m. The Angle Podcast channel right here. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. Hit that bell so you can know what is going on, because there's a lot of stuff happening. I hope you enjoyed this first episode, the debut episode of the Angles Live Dive. I'm your host, Joey Karni. I will see you all on Wednesday. Like I said, AEW top 5 moments. After that, live dive tomorrow. Nick Aldis interview. A lot of stuff happening. Follow across the board on social media at The Angle Radio. I'm your host, Joey Karni. Thank you for watching, and I will see you when I see you. We're on the road to WrestleMania, baby. Enjoy this time.